Thank you so much for joining me today as well. I'm very much excited, like I've always been. Today, we are coming from the background where we're looking at cost overruns, budget cost overruns, and how to navigate around these budget cost overruns, focusing on cost control. I think it's a series of financial management and financial prudency for businesses and for households as well, and also for projects as well as the supply chain and procurement departments. So today I am looking at the issues of cost control, and then in this cost control we are focusing on harnessing profitability and as well as business sustainability, because every business is centered on profitability, and therefore once you take the aspect or the component of profitability from the business, it means that particular business can never be sustained and can never be able to grow. So what is basically cost control? So basically cost control, we are saying this is a process of identifying and reducing business expenses in order for you to increase profitability. So you identify the business costs, then you reduce on them, and the end result of it all is to ensure that you actually increase on your business profitability and as well as sustainability. So now, in order for us to understand and appreciate actually what this cost control is all about, we must be able to first of all ensure that cost control is actually the saving that we put, the saving mechanisms that we put in place in form of procurement, in form of project implementations, in order for us to ensure that we actually get the target that we are projected for the business. So in this particular regards, you look at the sales, you look at the fixed cost as well as the variable costs. So when you remove, when you have your whole sales or your whole production sales, then you remove actually the fixed costs, those are rentals and other things. Then you also remove the variable costs, those are costs that change over time depending on the situation and the business environment at that particular time. So basically this is what we are looking at, and this is what we are talking about. So the types of business costs most of the time that businesses encounter and also projects encounter, the procurement department encounter, these range from one cost to the other. We have what we call fixed costs. These are fixed costs that do not change over a certain period of time. They are always long-term in nature, and these are things to do like rentals, issues of insurance, issues of and many others. Then we also have what we call variable costs. Variable costs, unlike fixed costs, these are costs such as labor or even the energy that is used by the workforce in order for them to ensure that there is productivity, there is efficiency, and there is effectiveness in the running of the business. Then we have what we call direct costs. These are costs that are related to production. These are costs that you can never do away with. They are always attached to something or to a particular aspect of the production. So you cannot actually easily get away with these. Then we have what we call indirect costs. Indirect costs, these are costs that come up as and when the project is running, as and when the procurement process is underway, as and when the business is actually running. So with that being said, what are some of the cost control approaches we can be able to implement both at macro and micro level in order for us to attain efficiency, in order for us to attain sustainability, in order for us to attain actually profitability? So one of the issues and one of the key issues that we always implement and we always actually fall on, every business actually does this, is what we call budgeting and forecasting. Budgeting and forecasting is key for us to ensure that we get value for money, we get actually the best out of our cost control measures. So if you can effectively budget, if you can effectively forecast your business needs and your business requirements, it means you'll be able to reduce on unnecessary expenses, unnecessary costs that may injure your business and may actually be able to use most of your monies. Then we also talk about process optimization. process optimization, this is where we come in more, especially in procurement. They call it the lean procurement. You want to ensure that you remove as many waste as you can from the process in order for you to ensure that unnecessary costs that are attached with those particular wastes are removed out of the supply chain, and you are able to ensure that you get value for money. Then we also look at vendor management. Vendor management is very, very important to every business, because the vendors that we deal with, these are vendors that actually give us the value for money that we require, that a business requires, and that a business is looking for. So if you can fail to manage your vendors adequately, if you can fail to manage your vendors in a very effective way, it means you might actually be able to incur unnecessary costs that comes with vendors, such as poor quality, such as late delivery, such as and all those are some of the costs that come with them as well. Then I've talked about waste reduction in the production process. In the procurement process, we need to reduce on the wastage of the energy that is being used. So you need to have targeted approaches that actually focus on solving certain solutions for that particular business, unlike having spread efforts, which may end up at the end of the day not achieving much. And then we also look at, lastly but not the least, we also look at adopting technological solutions. These technological solutions, they help us actually reduce on the costs that actually we may not be able to have control over. There are certain costs that come with manual ways of doing things. So as you implement technological aspects of the business, you realize that you begin to get value for money. With that being said, I want to also look at now the last component of this particular presentation. The last component has to do with what we call the benefits of cost control. So what are the benefits of cost control? At a household level, at a business level, in the supply chain, as well as on the implementation of the project. What are some of these particular benefits? Number one, you have the benefit of what we call lower expenses. So if you can reduce on the wastage, if you can actually optimize your processes, you actually reduce on the expenses, unnecessary expenses that comes with bureaucratic systems, expenses that comes with managing wastage and all those issues. You'll be able to actually ensure that you save quite a lot of money for your business and get that value that you require for your business. Then also, when you do cost control measures, when you implement effective cost control measures, you actually get efficiency. This is enhanced efficiency in the way you do your businesses, and this is what every organization is looking for. For procurement people, we don't want a procurement process that is prolonged. We want a procurement process that is actually shortened, a procurement process that is actually enhanced in order for us to add value to the organizations we are serving. So is a project. A project does not need to have unnecessary inefficiencies, because a project runs for a specific period of time, and therefore we must implement it within the time that it's given to us. Then also it helps us, another benefit actually of cost control is it helps in effective record management. Where there is no cost control measures, you'll find that as bulky as the expenses may be, it becomes very difficult to keep track of how your finances are being spent, how your finances are being utilized, and therefore record management becomes poor. But when you implement these cost control measures, you find that you actually manage your financial records quite good and quite effectively. Then lastly but not the least, one of the major benefits we should even be proud of, because we deliver for the organizations we are working for, we deliver for the procurement functions we are working for, is the issue of room to invest for investments. When you have saved a certain amount of money from a certain project, it means that amount of money can be channeled to another project. Then you can be able to actually have a multiplier effect of your investments, both in business, both at community level, both at family level, and as well as in the supply chain. So basically, these are some of the benefits of cost control measures and implementing the effective cost control measures. Thank you so much for having joined me today, and thank you so much for watching this webcast. As I've always encouraged you, as I've always told you, please always join in. They may be as short as they may be, but they are very educative. They are meant to inspire, to empower, and to help each and every one of us to become better leaders in the areas of our operations, in the areas of our expertise, either be it in finance, either it be it in economics, either be it in legal framework, in the legal aspect of the business, and also most importantly in the supply chain, because the supply chain professionals, these are key people. These are key custodians of what we call cost saving measures in any organizations, and you cannot actually subtract this from the work that you do as procurement people, as project implementers, because everyone wants to see to it that you give them the value for money, you give them the projects that are able to actually be able to, that ensure that costs are reduced, but also not at the expense actually of delivering the quality product. This is why we talked about actually supplier or vendor management. It is very, very important, and you cannot overemphasize on this particular point. I appreciate so much. Please like the page on Facebook, like the page on YouTube. Keep on subscribing, invite others, and let people be able to know that this show is here running for every professional to appreciate. We'll be getting so much into details of these particular issues to ensure that all of us are abreast with what is happening in the business sphere and are actually empowered with the necessary skills for us to navigate through the business sphere and through the various functions that we conduct in the businesses. Thank you so much, and see you next time.